Hey y'all, it's your girl Nikita. With the start of the new year, I had the sudden urge to make a vision board to basically encapsulate my year, my 2022, and I thought I'd share with the 30 followers that I have. But since it's been almost 2 years since our first lockdown in the US and Omicron is still raging, life seems a little bit repetitive or not purposeful, and I think having a vision board really helps with that and helps plan for your future when it feels like things might be stuck in a place that you don't want to be stuck in. What's important to remember is that life will go back to the way that we knew it. Things are getting better, and it's always really good to plan for your future. So the structure of this video, the first part will be a little bit of my process on how I went about creating a vision board, a couple of my tips, and then I'll go through my own vision board, which I'm really proud of. I'm definitely not an expert on this topic. I know there are a lot of people out there who highly recommend using I am statements or put really concrete goals like I want a Tesla or I want X amount of followers. This isn't going to be that kind of video. I think I'm not that girl who could follow a vision board like that. I need something a little more abstract, something a little more me. So this is definitely going to be something more structured toward college age students who probably don't have a lot of those goals formulated yet or want to keep it a little bit more open. But yeah, let's get on to the video. So just the process of making a vision board. The first thing to do is to flesh out a little bit of how you want your year to look like. What are the big milestones that you want to achieve or that you will be achieving and you want to get something done by then? For me specifically, I'll be applying to grad school in the fall, so I'll have to think a little bit about how my grades go this semester to improve my GPA, a little bit about the application process, maybe my summer internship, what do I want to accomplish? So just to flesh out your big milestones, and then think about the little things, like what do you want to do hanging out with friends, or are there any small goals, like do you want to go out for picnics, do you want to go see the Museum of Modern Art? Think about what you want your year to look like and make a list. After a bit of thinking of how your year will go, then I highly recommend making a list of general broad ideas that you want to focus on in your vision board and in your life. For me specifically, I want to focus on my relationships, especially with friends. I want to focus on bettering myself and making me feel more comfortable in my own skin. I want to focus on my hobbies because I definitely slacked a bit on those and have lost a little bit of who I am the past few years. And the last thing is, I just like my life to be aesthetic. I want to focus on being as aesthetic as possible. I phrased this badly, but basically aesthetic things make me happy. That's it. For this, probably 3 to 5 categories are good. You don't want to overload yourself because it's very easy to forget of what you want to focus on if you have too many categories. Then after making this list of categories, you can create goals that you want to achieve within each one, and each goal doesn't have to specifically be in the category, but these are just general ideas that you want to focus on. In middle school and high school, they told us a little bit about SMART goals, which were specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Specifically for me, I don't really like the measurable thing. I focus a lot on numbers, and if I see specific numbers like hang out with 5 friends a week or something like that, if I'm not making those numbers, it's going to make me feel bad and go down a rabbit hole. So that's a category I would cut out for myself. But I really like being specific with my goals. Definitely make them achievable. You should feel happy by the end of the year. Don't make anything too crazy, like graduate by the end of the year, because I know I'm definitely not going to, or get into a grad school that I'm definitely not going to get into. So now it's time to make your vision board. So what exactly can you put on a vision board? It could be anything: a picture, photograph, text, with text meaning quotes or affirmations, anything that represents the idea of the goal that you want to achieve. Highly recommend having 12 to 18 pictures. As I said before, if you have too many pictures, it can get pretty hard to remember everything that you want to accomplish, and it could feel a bit overwhelming. So 12 to 18 is what I aim for. If this is too less for you, too more for you, think about how many you can keep track of in your mind and go with that number. Make each picture purposeful. So I tend not to overlap goals with multiple pictures just because I want to be very specific and be very nuanced with my pictures. I definitely had to scroll a lot to be able to figure out what exactly I wanted for each goal, and that's okay. You can take your time because this is your board that is representative of your thoughts and your ideas. And I mean, you're not the one taking the picture or the quote most of the time, so it's always gonna be hard to find exactly what you want, but if you try hard enough, you usually should be able to. So for me, I like to make my vision board on Pinterest. I like Pinterest specifically because it's cute, aesthetic, I use it a lot. A lot of people like to make concrete or tangible vision boards, something that they see every day on their computer, like their background screen, or something they can print out like a cork board. I personally don't like that. I don't want something to be pushed in my face because, as I said earlier, I tend to obsess over things if I look at it too much. If I'm not meeting the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of the year, I will feel really bad about myself and it'll have the opposite effect. It won't motivate me, it'll just discourage me. I also really like Pinterest because it's on my phone, it's portable. If I'm at the grocery store with my friends and I just need a little motivation, or if I'm scrolling on Pinterest and I save something and I go to my profile, I'll see it there. So it's always accessible to me if I need it, but it's not going to be thrown in my face. Pinterest is also nice because the algorithm, the For You page of Pinterest will basically be whatever you're typing into your search engine, or the search engine of Pinterest. So if you search for your goals, like I want to work out, so I look up like exercise pictures, they'll give a little bit of exercise pictures. Or if I'm looking at fashion, they'll give me a little fashion. So it's a little reminder as you're scrolling through Pinterest that you have these goals and you're working towards them. Maybe those pictures will be nice and motivational for you. And what's also nice is like when I look up a picture and let's say I have an exercise picture that doesn't fully represent what I want on my vision board, but it's really similar, I can just scroll down and then look at the related images and I'll see other images pretty close to what that picture is, and maybe those match a little more with what I want on my vision board. So now let's look at my vision board. Honestly, this is my most exciting part of this video. I film on my phone, so I will be looking at them on my laptop and will probably insert something over here. I should scooch over so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. The first picture on my vision board is this. It's basically just cookies that are on a counter. I really like this because I love baking personally, and something that I don't tend not to do as much when I'm not stressed, but when I'm stressed I want to eat cookies and I'll make them. So I think it's a little more of like consistently baking, trying out new recipes. I love making cookies, but trying out different things. But I really like this because it's just the vibes. The second picture is of two girls on a refrigerator. I like the energy in this picture. I want to make new friends this year in college and do spontaneous things. So this picture really encapsulates doing spontaneous things with new friends for me. Plus I really like the disposable picture vibes, the editing that has been done. So it just like represents being in the moment and doing things with your new friends. This is really basic. This is just really aesthetic. It's working. I really want to work hard and possibly get all A's this semester. I'm aiming for like B pluses across the board, hopefully. Anything higher would be great. Yeah, I really hope that I will be more effective in learning my material and being more consistent with my studying because I struggled a lot last year. Okay, this is just like two friends hugging. I'm not a very physical person with my friends, but I thought this was so cute. I want to keep in touch with my old friends, so it's different from the other picture where I want to make new friends. I really lost touch with a lot of my friends from high school or early college, being at home for 1.5 years. So I was able to this winter break to reconnect with a couple of them that I hadn't spoken to in a really long time. So I really liked that, and I really want to reconnect my old friendships that just haven't been kept up the past few years. Now we see like a really aesthetic picture of plants, and I love plants. I really got into them this past 6 months, and what I really want to do is focus on learning about all of my plants. Like, it's a hobby of mine and I like collecting things, but I realized I don't know a lot about tips and tricks behind each one. So I've been watching YouTube videos about each plant. So I learned a lot about my monstera and my string of pearls this past week, so I really hope to learn more about my plants and keep them healthy like plants are in this picture. Okay, this was just a really aesthetic picture and I really liked the fashion style. I want to do more layering, I want to be more cognizant and more aware of my outfits. So I really want to do that, and this picture just encapsulates that. I want to look aesthetic and carry that vibe of being fashionable outside of my room. Maybe this isn't inherently obvious to everyone, but this is a picture of New York. I didn't want to pick anything too extravagant or like the Empire State Building or the big pictures of New York. I visited a couple weeks ago and I really want to go to grad school there, maybe Columbia, maybe NYU. I just really liked New York architecture, walking on the streets. I walked a lot during that trip, 8-ish miles every day. I just really want to keep that in mind. I want to go to grad school there. I want to spend the next 5 years of my life there. Basically, I just want to try really hard to get into a New York grad school and keep that in mind in the fall when I'm applying. So that's like the goal for me. It's a little more abstract, but it's something that I want to continue to think about in the back of my mind. Okay, this is just like a bunch of bouquets of flowers, sorry. But I realized that flowers make me happy. I just want to buy a bouquet every time my old one dies to keep in my room. My boyfriend gave me a really nice bouquet the other day because he knew I wanted to do this year. I'm going to buy myself flowers because they make me happy. This is a really dumb picture maybe at first, but I just like making coffee, tea, mostly coffee, but I really want to keep in mind, like, just make it aesthetic, make myself happy with a cup of coffee. I really resort to Dalgona coffee just because I liked the whipped taste, but basically I just want to try out new coffee and tea recipes and things that are aesthetic. Butterfly tea, or butterfly pea tea sounds really nice, and just different things that make me happy in the morning. Flea market, I think this is really cool. Flea markets, thrift markets, to get new clothes. I have a lot of clothes now and I think I have just too many clothes that I don't wear a lot, so I want to be a little more cognizant in what I buy. I want to sell a lot of the clothes that I have right now that I don't wear. So this is basically to make sure I don't overbuy clothing or buy clothes that I don't really want or need and I'm just buying because it's trendy. So I want to focus a lot on that. I don't have a crazy amount of clothes. I think I have as much as like the average person, but I think it's still more than I wear on a regular basis. So I want to be more cognizant about my shopping and then get rid of parts of my closet that I don't wear and someone else could. This is one of the few aesthetic pictures I could find of like sciencey lab stuff. I work in a research lab and I have been low-key slacking the past couple of weeks, so I really want to focus my energy and conduct the research because it's exciting. I really enjoy what I'm doing, but I need to focus more of my energy toward it, so this is focusing on research. I thought this was a really cute, adorable picture. It's got the more vintage vibes that I really like, and this girl is drinking her water. She's got her eye mask. I just thought to focus on self-care, giving myself like masks, just focusing on myself, drinking water, focusing on my skin, wearing sunscreen. It's something that's been on the back of my mind. Now that I'm in my 20s, I think it's something I should be thinking about. Okay, this picture maybe just doesn't shout out like goal, but I want to have a picnic this year. So last year and the year before I've been wanting to, but I never did. I ended up buying a really cute picnic basket. I bought some ceramic plates and bowls to put in my picnic basket, and I just want to have a picnic. I think it brings everyone closer together because you're making food, so I just want to have more picnics this year. Just enjoying on the glade or on a grassy area and just eating food and drinking water or juice, just the vibes. This picture was honestly took the longest to find. I feel like a lot of the pictures of gym goers are thinspo, and I didn't want those vibes on my vision board. Those vibes are not allowed in my room or my house. I really want to go to the gym to better myself and make myself healthier in terms of like muscles and getting my cardio in. I really don't want to care as much about getting thin and getting the ab lines and making my thigh gap. And I felt like a lot of the Pinterest pictures were giving those vibes, but this one I really liked because it just shows the weights, it just shows the water bottle. And basically my goal is to go to the gym more often, and I have. I actually went twice this week. Monday I went and then I cried and then had to leave because I was so overwhelmed. But Tuesday I went and I did pretty well. Wednesday we slept in by accident, so we didn't go. Thursday is today, and I went in the morning. So these are my gym clothes. So this picture was very specific. I mean, the outfit itself isn't super crazy, but I think the colors match really well with the collar, the belt, and the bag. They all have a very similar color scheme. What I realized in cool fashion outfits, especially what Best Dressed is putting out nowadays, there's a lot of color matching involved in addition to everything else that goes into play, and I think I do pretty well in putting together outfits, but I don't really take color into account into this much detail, so I want to focus on putting more effort into realizing the colors in my outfits and making those match. I really want to read this year. I loved to read when I was younger. I tried a little bit at the beginning of last year and it fell out a little bit once school started getting really difficult. But I really want to focus on just reading something fun. I like fiction books, historical fiction. I've recently been into autobiographies the past couple of years, which I never really was into before. I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo during my trip last week, and I thought it was really nice. I just want to read more fiction or historical fiction books, people's stories. I think it's really nice. That was a very stressful video to film because I just don't like sitting in front of the camera. I feel very weird doing so, but it's something I want to get used to. Like, I love editing videos. I like filming videos and coming up with ideas for videos. So thanks for listening. I really hope that you create your own vision board, maybe according to my guidelines, maybe according to your own. I think this is a really personal topic and it's whatever floats your boat most. So hopefully your 2022 can go well and maybe you'll have some kind of structure with a vision board to support that. But I'll see you in the next video. Bye!